Hello. Welcome to Winging It episode 8 on a very spooky day.
That's perfect.
That's perfect. Yeah, no. It started.
Okay.
Hello.
We're back. I'm not going to try to top that.
We're back.
Hosts,
It's me.
Cambry King,
Cambry
Claire
King.
Meyer.
I'm Cheer Cambry. Cheer Cambry.
Cheer Cambry.
Cheer Cambry.
And we are going to talk all things Halloween today.
Halloween is a spooky season. Don't start that. No, don't say it. Don't say that. Don't say that. I think the scariest thing today, I think the scariest thing that happened this week or the past month, I would say, was not anything that people dressed up as. I think it was the weather.
Yes, definitely. Recently, last week, there was this huge snow/thunderstorm, which I don't think I've ever experienced before in my life.
And you'll never experience again.
But it was a lot of fun. But like you said, also very scary because people don't know how to drive in cold and snowy weather.
What class were you in when the first thunder hit, lightning?
Art.
Art.
And everyone looked up from their sketches and looked out the window because there's the big windows right there, that look out. And then everyone laughed.
Oh.
And that was it.
I was in Mr. Colbert's computer science, and we were just all on our computers. And we like saw like a little flash, like, what was that? And Mr. Colbert was like, was that lightning? And all of us were like, probably not. And then we heard the thunder, and we're like, oh, okay. So we all got up and we looked out the window, and we just watched the snow. I was not expecting it to snow that day.
No, me either. And I knew it was supposed to be cold, but not like snow cold. There's a very big difference there. Especially, I didn't expect it to snow as much as it did.
Oh, yeah, it snowed quite a bit.
Which is
Yeah.
fun times.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was like snow all over the ground, like very quickly, and I was not expecting that whatsoever.
And it's always cold around Halloween, but never to the point of like snow, which I thought was interesting for sure.
We're not going to have a white Christmas, but we'll have a white Halloween.
Close enough, right?
Close enough. Basically the same thing.
But yeah, so speaking of, Halloween is today.
Today, hooray!
I'm very excited. Yes. Halloween is like one of my favorite, if not my favorite holidays.
I would say one of the earliest memories that I've had of Halloween was like carving pumpkins, like going to the pumpkin patch, picking out a pumpkin, carving it and putting it on my front porch. And do you have any like stories of like pumpkin carving or anything like that?
Well, I remember as a kid, I wasn't really good at like carving because that takes a lot of arm strength actually. You got to have some pumped biceps for that, So I had like this set of like cat stuff, like it had cat eyes and like arms and legs and like a tail. And so I just stuck those in the pumpkin. And that was my pumpkin carving. I was always done a lot faster than everyone else.
Good.
Yeah.
I never really carved the pumpkin. Like we would open up the pumpkin and then we'd take all the guts out of it, and then we would have a little piece of paper that we printed out, and we'd push holes in the paper and it would make some sort of design. Like one year we had a bat or something like that.
Oh yeah.
It was really nice.
That's cool. That's like an easier way to do it. Yeah. Like if you can't carve, then that's like the next best thing.
If you're not talented enough to do it, then do that because it looks equally as good. But I want to say I was in kindergarten or first grade, and since my mom is a teacher, I went with the teachers to go pick out pumpkins for a pumpkin patch. And there was one pumpkin that I found that was like a small but skinny pumpkin, and I was like, this is the best pumpkin ever. So I grabbed it, and I was like, I went to my homeroom teacher, who was in the same, it must have been kindergarten, and I went to my homeroom teacher. I'm like, this is the pumpkin I'm going to get, okay? She was like, all right. I mean, just remember, you're not going to be the first one that I call to go pick up, so you just got to hope that no one else steals it. I'm like, okay, I will. And so I went up to everyone like, you see that small pumpkin? That's mine. Don't steal it. And so.
Did you get it?
Oh, I got it.
Oh, okay.
I made sure I got it.
See, I like misinterpreted what you were saying, and I thought everyone brought their own pumpkin, and then it was like a free for all from there.
Oh no.
And I was like, that's terrible. Like,
No,
but
like
I understand.
Yeah,
now.
the teachers pick the pumpkins, and then we pick from that. So
Right.
I made sure that pumpkin got to my homeroom.
But I've never understood really painting pumpkins. Like, I guess it's good for really, really small children.
Yeah, like kindergarten, which is what we did with those pumpkins. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, but I didn't ever like. I didn't enjoy that as much because I was like, there's so many better surfaces to paint on than a pumpkin.
I mean, you as long as you're not doing any like things super elaborate, as long as you're not painting like Starry Night or anything
That's
like
true.
that.
Okay, call me out like that. All right.
Wait, did you what?
No, I just, you know how I'm like, if I'm going to do any kind of art form, it has to be amazing. Like, it's a whole problem. But anyway, have you ever tried pumpkin seeds? Like, not fried, but like baked pumpkin seeds?
I haven't even had pumpkin pie or pumpkin spice anything.
Okay, I don't
So-
like pumpkin pie.
Okay, good. I was like, I'm not quite sure if I'm going to say it, but oh well.
No, controversial statement. I really, really dislike pumpkin pie.
Same.
And I think what it is not really the taste, but the texture. Because it's just this, like, gelatin almost
Yeah,
of
it's like
pumpkin.
it's halfway between solid and liquid. It's really
Yeah,
kind of strange.
I'm not a huge pie person in general, but I will eat them. But pumpkin pie, kind of not my fave. Like, at the bottom of my list.
Yeah, it's at the bottom of your tier list.
But seeds are really good if you like, spice them up. Cinnamon and all that, they're actually really pretty tasty.
Man, I think I like just now I thought I might have a memory of eating pumpkin seeds before.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell you if I liked them or not because it was a long time ago, but
You should try some.
yeah, I will one day.
But
Eventually.
speaking of eating, the biggest thing about Halloween is, of course, trick-or-treating, getting candy, and then eating it until you're sick.
Yeah.
I mean, basically.
Did you ever go to like a trunk or treat or anything like that?
I never did those.
Yeah, I think I did once when I was like the first year that we moved here. I think I did it once.
You
but that was
seem
about
very
it.
unimpressed.
I mean, we never went back to it.
Oh, yeah.
So-
Well, that's fair.
We
So,
oh yeah, sorry.
okay, I was just going to ask what you did instead. Like, do you usually go trick-or-treating?
We usually went trick or treating. We went to in my old town that we lived in. We went with our neighbors and we went to a bunch of different. I don't even think we went around our neighborhood or anything like that. We went to specific people that we knew. We trick or treated, and that was about it. I really just like all the memories that I have are thoughts that I had about Halloween, but not things that we actually did.
Right.
Like I remember what I thought about Halloween, but not what. I only remember one time we all piled in a car and we went to a house like out in the country. We trick or treated there, and then we just kind of stayed there for 20 minutes and then went home.
Oh, well, there you go. I don't know. I've had a lot of experiences with Halloween, which I guess I remember more of them just because I love the holiday so much that it sticks with me more, I guess. I remember this one year when we lived in San Antonio. All the houses, like where we lived were really close together. And we knew that our science teacher at the time, and this is me and like my 5th grade friends or whatever, we knew the science teacher that also lived in that neighborhood, like gave out full-size candy bars. And that's like a big deal.
Oh, yeah.
That's huge. The king size, actually, not even full size, but king size candy
The
bars.
Cambry King size.
Yes. Yeah. let's say that.
Yeah, okay.
It was a pretty good joke, actually. But we also knew that like you don't buy a whole lot of king size candy bars, so
yeah.
they run out really quickly. So that was our first stop, even though he lived on the opposite side of the neighborhood from like the rest of us.
Right. Like you would start there and then
work your way back. Yeah. Which that was a really fun year. And anymore, usually I still try to go trick-or-treating with my siblings because they're both younger than me, so they haven't quite grown out of that tradition yet. But we also, back in the day, not last year, but the year before that and the year before that, had Halloween parties, which is arguably as or more fun.
I don't have that many experiences with Halloween parties. I went to my grandma one time. We call her Mimi. And we went there, and like the only one dressed up was my niece, who was 2 years old at the time, I'm pretty sure. And anyway, I took a picture of her because she was like in a dress and she was holding a sword. And I was like, that's pretty cool. And so she was my lock screen for a long time.
Oh, that's cool.
So, yeah, but I thought that's probably the only Halloween party I've been to.
Yeah. So I have a whole lot of stories. There's one time, I think I was probably a little younger because this wasn't my Halloween party yet, like the ones I was talking about just a second ago, but my grandma's, and me and my brother and my sister, we were all walking up to the house, and there was this like witch in the yard, right? Like really scary, and like had like the flowing clothes and stuff, and was very, very still. And so we walked on past it, and then out of the corner of my eye, I see it move and jump at us, and it's my grandpa dressed up in this like witch costume, and that was very scary to me. Because notice I still remember it specifically. I think I screamed and like, and also at that same Halloween party, I lost my tooth. It was really, really loose, and my uncle was like, well, we'll just tie a string around it and close the, like open the door. And I was like, sounds good to me.
Yeah, I could do that.
It was one of my bottom teeth, and we tied the string around, and he opened the door, and out it came with like a whole lot of blood, which made it even more Halloween-y, I guess.
Like spooky.
But I don't even remember it hurting. I think I was like, did it work? And he like pulled the string, and he was like, oh, there's your tooth.
I have a story that's kind of like that. Like, it's not about me, it's about my brother. But he had a tooth that was loose one time, and my dad, he like started crying about it. My dad was like, okay, if you don't pull out that tooth in the next 5 minutes, I'm going to pull it out for you. And so he started crying, like he set a timer. And my brother like started wiggling it. He was like, I'm trying to get it out. Please hurry up. And so the timer went off. He didn't get it off in time. And my dad's like, okay, I want to go get the pliers real quick. So he went gotten pliers. He came back, and my brother was crying. He's like, please don't. I don't want you to pull it out. My dad pulls it out, and my brother still goes, please don't pull it out. It's going to hurt so much. He didn't even know it was pulled out. So...
I feel like that's usually how it goes, especially with the smaller the child is, the more afraid they are.
Yeah.
Even though the tooth is clearly ready to just come out of there. Another important thing to think about for Halloween parties is a playlist. Very important. Very spooky songs, which...
Yeah, there's a specific song that you are kind of terrified of.
It's called Nightmare on My Street.
Yeah, I was about to say you look like you're
by the famous Will Smith.
You look like you're like, okay, it's called
I'm like preparing myself.
Nightmare on My Street.
That song is so scary.
Oh yeah, I've listened to it. It's pretty spooky.
And it was at that same Halloween party I keep talking about that it was playing, and I hardly heard it, right? Like, I'm just sitting in the house, like, eating, like, candy or whatever other treats were there. And then the more I'm starting to listen to the song, my, like, I can't remember how old I was. Maybe, like, 15?
Oh,
that's
so
embarrassingly
kind of recent. Yeah.
14, 13, somewhere.
Yeah. 14,
trying
13.
to recover from
okay,
that.
I was like 0, okay?
But my younger self was like, this is scary. I don't like this. But I decided I had to listen to the whole thing because you've got to finish it out. And it didn't get better. It got much worse. So if you want nightmares tonight,
Nah, on your street.
Listen to that song. Which it really isn't that bad, but it really kind of creeped me out.
You showed me it, and at the very end, it just stops becoming a rap, and it's just Will Smith freaking out. So...
Yeah, it's good stuff, though.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I don't think I was ever really scared on Halloween before. Like I do remember one time very specifically. Like we were eating dinner and it was Halloween, and then they knocked on the door, and like I was like, "Can I get it, Mom?" Because I was like, I was 6. I was very small. And she was like, oh, yeah, go ahead and get it. I'm like, sweet. So I run, I grab the candy, and I open the door, and it's 3, like, teenagers dressed in, like, super dark, scary clown masks. And I remember, like, jumping super far back. I was like, yeah! And stuff like that. And then my mom came around, and she's like, oh, okay. I gave them candy. And they were like, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to scare your kid. And she was like, he'll be fine.
He'll be fine. I feel like that's everyone's reaction to your fear a lot lot of the time.
Yeah, I'll be fine.
Like last
including
podcast,
my own. Yeah, I'll be fine.
You'll be fine.
Traumatic experience, it's fine. I have forgotten some traumatic experiences though.
Like what?
Like what? When I was a wee lad, I was sitting. There's this place called Balmoral. I'm not quite sure if it still existed, but it was. We went there a long time ago, and with my cousin, and it's where it's like a swimming pool, but there's fish in it. So you get to swim with the fish. And I was just sitting next to a diving board, and usually diving boards triggered me of fear because that means it's in the deep end. And so it was in the deep end, and there was a giant catfish swimming, and I was like, I don't want to go in there. And my cousin convinced me to like, I'm not quite sure if it was to sit next to it or stand next to it. But I was just staring at it, and then she pushed me in. And then I fell in, and then I was freaked out, and I came back up. And honestly, I legitimately, it was probably so traumatic that I forgot about it. And then like my cousin brought it up again, and I was like, oh yeah, that happened. And then I just laughed at it. But
So you're telling me though that if I dressed up as a catfish for Halloween, you would be somewhat put off by that?
I would, but not for that reason. I'd be like,
There's been a couple of houses that have scared me or impressed me more as I've gotten older, of
Were they
like
the
decorating and stuff.
Monster House.
Yes, specifically Monster House. Like people try really hard, and there was this one, like maybe 2 or 3 years ago, that my siblings and I and my cousins and all them, we all went there. And it was this house, and it wasn't really that impressively like decorated or anything, but they had turned their whole garage into like a haunted house kind of thing for the kids to run through. And I didn't go inside, but the kids all came out screaming, so I figured it was pretty good.
Like, God dang it.
But like stuff like that is really cool to me. Like people that are as invested in the holiday as I am, I guess.
Right. Do you ever go to haunted houses?
I always want to, and then I never do. I did go to a couple last year. I can't remember where it was. It was the street in Amarillo. What is it called?
Is
it 6th Street?
Yeah.
Okay. I went to the one on 6th Street, and it was really fun. But the thing is, there's always a lot of people there because it's such a limited market for that kind of thing that everyone, no matter what time you go in October, it's going to be busy.
Right.
Unless you go at like 2 o'clock on a Wednesday, then maybe not.
It's 2 o'clock on Wednesday.
But yeah, it's always fun to see people decorating or dressing up, which is personally my favorite part of Halloween.
No.
Best part. More than the candy, by the way, Milk Duds are terrible.
I don't think I've ever had a single milk dud. I probably have. I just like, I eat it, and it's just, it never leaves an impression on me. I never like eat it and like, oh, this is awesome, or anything like that.
Yeah, that's fair. I like a lot of candy, actually. I'm pretty lenient on what I will accept, or back in the day, what I accepted. But if someone had Milk Duds or Mounds, or what's the other thing with Mounds?
I don't know.
Almond Joy.
Almond Joy. Yeah.
Any of those, I like threw away. Like immediately after, or put it in one of my siblings' buckets. That's actually usually what I do.
You're like, they give you Milk Duds, and you're like, no.
Put it back.
Put it back.
But I will say that a candy that a lot of people don't like that I do, or used to more, I guess, is Dots.
You know, I think I had Dots a couple times, but like none of it ever really left an impression on me.
I mean, it's just plastic.
Yeah.
It's just gummy candy. That's it. Like you can pick up any fruit snacks and get the same experience that you're gonna get with Dots, except probably a little
worse.
Squishier
Well,
with the fruit snacks.
I liked fruit snacks because I always associated them with church, because which is kind of a weird thing to be talking about on Halloween, but it's fine. But like always at church, they would give kids these fruit snacks at like banquets or something like that, and so I always just associated them with that.
Interesting.
And so like whenever I got on Halloween, I'm like, these aren't good enough.
Garbage.
What did you like go and dress up as when you were a little kid?
I had a lot. A notable one was I was Raphael from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Raphael, as in the Renaissance painter artist?
Well, that was in the next year.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh, I was
That would be really
whoa.
cool, though. I have a whole list, actually, of stuff. I also was Dorothy one year, and, like, my grandma actually, like, made my dress for me, like, sewed it, because she does a lot of sewing stuff, and I changed my mind, like, day of, that I didn't want to be Dorothy anymore, but it was too late. So that was the one Halloween costume that I really don't think I liked that much.
I'm sorry.
I mean,
Did you ever watch The Wizard of Oz?
Yeah. Well, yeah, but I didn't like it. I don't know why I wanted to be. I think I saw the golden slippers, and I was like, I gotta wear those. And if I get to wear those, I gotta be Dorothy.
I thought they were ruby slippers.
Ruby slippers.
Yeah.
I meant sparkly.
Sparkly.
Sparkly golden is the same in my
No.
head.
Yeah. Okay. I've actually never seen The Wizard of Oz. It's just one of those stories that everyone knows.
Yeah.
So I'm a weirdo like that. I think that there are 2 big costumes that I really remember. That
My
are-
list.
Yeah. Like, I have my list right here. I think the 2 costumes I remember the most is that when I was a little kid, I was a Krispy Kreme donut man. And
Very
that
good.
I was told that I looked very cute by my pre-K teachers, and I would make people donuts and run around in circles until I felt like puking.
Oh, nice.
So I was really weird.
Dedicated.
Yes, dedicated, because that's what Krispy Kreme donut men did. They ran around in circles. And then another one that I remember is that I was a rocker,
A rocker.
like a
like a.
rock star.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I wore it to school, and I had like a sleeveless shirts, and I had like those tattoos that you like
Oh yeah.
put on and stuff like that. And I remember because Halloween was like on a Friday, and so I went to school like that. I felt so cool. I spiked my hair up. That was the beginning of my spiked hair, by the way, was that costume. And
Iconic. The beginning of a legend.
the beginning of a legend that died when he was in 4th grade. But I think it was on like either a Friday or a Saturday. Halloween was that year, and then I had church, and the tattoo still hadn't washed off yet. And we had a thing where all the kids went up to the front, and so the pastor called me out for having tattoos. He's like, "What do you have these tattoos for?" I'm like, "I'm a rock star."
You were like, beat that.
They always knew that I would say something funny, so they always put the microphone to me.
I have a lot of pretty decent costumes. My favorite ones were when my whole family dressed up and like had a collected costume.
Like a theme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One year I was Scooby-Doo, and I had like the whole big head that like sat on top of my head. It was kind of weird, and then my cousin was Daphne. We didn't have a Fred because my grandma was Velma, and then I think it was my dad was Shaggy. And we just didn't have a Fred. We didn't have a leader.
You just had one person designated to be Fred, and then the day of they decided they wanted to be Dorothy.
Got him. I also had we also had one where it was like the Justice League. So I was Flash, and I like made my hair all wet, so it looked like I had been like running for a really long time. And my brother was Batman, but I was really mad that year because he wouldn't keep the cowl on because he's like 2 and he didn't want stuff on his face, so I kept like putting it down on his head throughout the night.
Keep it on.
And my helpless brother was like trying to like push it off. And my sister was Wonder Woman, my mom was Green Lantern, and my dad was Superman. And I've also had some really good like make your own costumes. I feel like those are sometimes better because like I was a mad scientist one year. And so I bought like a lab coat and like I made some like spooky glasses, and like I did my hair up all like crazy, and like I not spray painted it, but hair sprayed it green. Mm-hmm. Which that's like a super. That's
I took a paint bucket and I went.
I just
brushes.
like dumped it.
Yes.
I feel like sometimes those are almost better costumes.
Yeah, I can understand. I mean, this might shock you a little bit. I don't think I've ever had a store-bought costume.
Really?
Yeah. I think all of my costumes that I've ever had were just make your own.
Yeah.
So, I had a scarecrow costume when I was a little kid.
I was a scarecrow the other year.
That one year. I still have it in my closet, actually.
Do you really?
Yeah. I'm not going to wear it again because it's, like, tiny, and I would rip it.
That's fair.
But it's a keepsake.
You know how, like, parents always dress up their kids, like their babies, as, like, really cute animals? Like, I was a lamb for my first year. Like, the first year I was alive, I was a lamb. And then I was a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader, but we can ignore that.
But that one didn't really happen.
Yeah, so you know that like, theme, more or less?
The only interaction I ever had with small children is from my sister. Is from my nieces.
Okay, well,
So.
I can tell you that's a thing that happens, is that
Okay.
they dress them up in, like, very cute costumes.
Oh, yeah. It's cute. Batman and Robin were my nieces.
Oh,
Anyway, continue.
see, that's cute.
Yeah.
When I have kids, if I have kids, I want to dress them up in, like, I want one of them to be, like, scary. Like,
Scary.
I was going to make a reference, but I can't.
Just, like, you put, like, the completely black contacts in.
Yeah,
and you're
yeah.
like, Look at my baby.
Like, yeah, or like little like slugs, maybe. I'll dress them up in like a slug costume.
I'm pretty sure they don't slink around like slugs do, but I'm not a baby expert. I don't know.
But I just think that would be really funny to have your baby just like terrifying instead of like a cute little lamb like I was.
You're like, haha, isn't this funny? And it's just like something super demented.
CPS is like, hey, we need to talk.
It's like, so we got a couple reports from your neighbors. This is a very weird and out there memory that I have with Halloween. But every Halloween, every October, McDonald's would give out little coupon books.
Right.
And I just always remember going through the McDonald's line and then getting the coupon book and like flinging it out and like accordion comes out and I'm like, this is awesome. I don't remember ever using. We obviously use them, but I don't remember anything other than that. I just remember I really liked them. I was always happy when I saw them.
That's funny.
So
as you can see, there's a variety of Halloween memories. You can have memories like Cambry's, where it's like McDonald's coupons.
Yeah, McDonald's coupon book, or you can have one like Claire's, but it's scary.
Hey, we bobbed for apples one time, and we bobbed for donuts one time. That was even better, actually.
Was like
this
in
is all
water?
Party stuff that I forgot to talk about. No, they were like strung up like on strings on like the edge of our garage, but the garage door was up, obviously. So then you had to like try and eat it with your mouth without using your hands. It's very difficult.
I bet.
Halloween's a really versatile holiday, I feel like. There's lots of stuff you can do, or costumes. You can be anything you want to be. You can go trick-or-treating, you can go to parties, you can sit at home and watch scary movies. Like, there's an endless possibility of things that you can do.
Yeah, it's always fun. Did you ever go to Halloween Happening or anything like that?
I helped last year.
I went very, very long time ago. It was like 2010, I'm pretty sure. And I think the fire alarm was pulled, either that or it went off during Halloween Happening, and then we just left. But like I remember like
you have lots of stories with fire alarms being pulled. Throwback to the pep rally.
Oh yeah, the
podcast.
pep rally. Yeah. I mean that was your story too, though. I mean it happened to us our freshman
That's
year.
true.
But fire alarms in this school get pulled a little bit too often.
Mm-hmm.
But they've gotten better at that for sure. Gotten better at finding out, I should say. I do remember that they had the little booth set up where like you had to throw a hook over and then the people would catch it and they would put a piece of candy on it and you pull it back, and I always thought that was the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
I still really want to do that, but I
that
haven't.
is cool, actually.
I do remember though that I pulled it back and I almost hit a small kid in the face.
Oh, Cambry.
So then I was like,
you can't ruin the kids' time.
well, I was just like, I'm too old for this, and then I decided that I wasn't gonna do Halloween ever again.
Oh,
Go trick or
that's
treating.
so sad. Well, whatever age you are, have a wonderful Halloween. I hope it's spooky and fun.
I hope it's not as spooky as my Halloween.
I feel like there's something happening to you on Halloween that you haven't talked about yet.
Yeah, that's it.
It's your werewolf trait.
It's my werewolf. Well, has a full moon ever happened on Halloween before?
Yes, it happened. No, last year it happened on Friday the 13th in October.
Oh, there was a Friday the 13th last year?
Yeah,
I thought it was 2 years ago. No, it was last year.
It was last year.
It was last year.
I remember specifically.
Yeah. I remember being excited.
What I remember is planning a party for it and then it not happening.
Sorry.
But yeah, Halloween is a wonderful time. I love it. You seem mediocre towards it, but lukewarm.
Lukewarm. No, Luke is in a different.
Oh, okay.
So I think we both have an announcement that's going up later today about on the YouTubes.
Yes.
Is that we're actually going to have an audiobook of Within These Walls, a story that Claire wrote last year for Halloween.
Woohoo! Yeah, it's actually really cool. It's we have all kinds of different voices. It's more than just us two because we know you get tired of us. It's a pretty decent story, gotta say.
I gotta say, it's pretty good.
I think it's gonna be something that you guys will actually really enjoy. So check that out if you're interested. And
if you're not, still check it out.
yeah, still click on the video so we get the view.
But seriously, guys, I had fun today. What about you, Claire?
Yeah, I always have fun.
Especially because it's your favorite holiday and everything.
Yeah,
You get
so
to talk about it.
Now I'm gonna go out and toilet paper some houses.
Duh.
That's the Halloween tradition I forgot to talk about.
Wait, you actually toilet paper
No.
houses? I was about to say, wait a second. I've only
You're
seen
like,
that
you're the
once.
one who did that.
It's like, you're the one who mummified my house. If you're gonna toilet paper people's houses, do it to young people. Don't do it to old people,
Yeah,
because
that's a good point.
that's really rude, and they have to take it down themselves, and that's just cold blooded.
Now, no, I won't say that.
Now, okay, fill in the blanks yourself, and then don't blame Claire for what you thought.
All right, guys. I think that's about it.
Yeah, I'm really happy that you guys tuned in again, and I hope you enjoyed us just winging it.